So somebody told you that it's home buying season, right? Well, it is, and it's exciting. Thanks for watching. Again, it's Margot Tapia with Turquoise Window Real Estate Group. So when you're buying a house, or you've heard of people buying houses recently, you're going to hear that it is like the Hunger Games out there. It is crazy. And it's crazy across the nation, not just here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Thankfully, in Albuquerque, New Mexico, it's not as crazy as it is in Denver, Austin, or LA, but it is still crazy. So if you're looking for a house under $300,000, you need to come with a very strong offer. In fact, I just showed a $625,000 house on Saturday. And yes, on Saturday. I was trying to think if it was Sunday. And it went within days. $625,000 in Albuquerque, New Mexico went within days. This is not Austin. This is not LA, and this is not Denver. So the inventory is crazy. There's less than 1,000 houses on the market in the state of New Mexico. So with that being said, there are more than 1,000 people wanting to buy a house, and this is in all price ranges. So when you're looking, the average price of a house is under $300,000 in New Mexico. And when you make the average income in New Mexico, you cannot afford a $600,000 house. You can afford more in the $250,000 to $300,000 range. So what's happening with that is, since that's the average cost of a home and the average income is what it is in New Mexico, you guessed it. Everybody who is buying a house wants the same type of house in the same dang price range. So what happens is there's about 12 to 16 people making an offer within 24 hours of it being on the market. And what that means is, if you were thinking of saying, you know what, I like that house, but I know 6 months ago it wasn't worth that much, and I know they didn't pay that much for it, I want to pay this much. 9 times out of 10, unless it's just a stale listing that's going to stay on the market and has a million things wrong with it, you're not going to get the house. You want to come in with a strong offer at or above listing price. You want to pay all of the buyer closing costs, and you might even want to help the seller pay some of theirs. That's how you're going to have a strong offer in a very, very competitive market. Hey, Margot, I don't have a ton of money laying around to just be able to pay for the seller's closing costs. Okay, fine. Do you have enough money to pay for your inspections? Do you have enough money to pay for your appraisal? Inspections are typically around, I would say, when somebody's running a deal, they could be like $200 depending on the size of the home. But typically more in the $300 to $400 range for the full home inspection. But if you have certain loans, you're going to have a wood destroying like a pest termite type inspection. So it's wood destroying and then wood rot. So you want to see if there's any wood destroying insects, and then wood rot. So you want to see if there has been any termite damage, and if there has, if it's been remedied. And that's going to be a condition of loan approval for some loans. Those I see a lot cheaper, probably in about the $80 range. And then some people, and most people, want to do a sewer scope. So if it is city sewer, you want to check to make sure that those pipes are the right pipes, because as a lot of people in New Mexico know, there are some pipes that just are not working anymore because they've either crushed or dissolved or disintegrated or cracked or whatever it may be. Another thing you need to think about is a septic inspection. Most often that septic inspection, if you have a septic tank, is a responsibility of the seller, but that's also something that, in a crazy market, things are so negotiable right now and heavily falling on the side of the seller benefiting. So the seller is benefiting by being able to ask you to pay for a bunch of things, or they don't even have to counter right now for the most part, because there's going to be 10, 16, 20 offers, and you're going to look at all of them, and then you're going to pick the most desirable one out of all of them. And sometimes a lot of them are just as desirable as the other one. So it gets really, really hard to figure out which one to pick. But if you have 16 or 20 options, I'm sure maybe 5 of them will be under asking, and then the rest are going to be over, or they're going to be willing to pay some of those closing costs. So be prepared. If you don't have money laying around, there are lots of ways to skin this cat, as my mother-in-law says. You can talk to a lender. They can talk to you about maybe getting gift funds. That has to go through a lender and be approved. There are different stipulations that go into the approval process. I'm not the one who can tell you what those are. I am not a lender, but I know plenty that are amazing. You can look into your 401k and using that. Those are all lender costs and questions. And those are things that they're going to help you with. And I will team up with them to make sure that we get you into the house that you want. Now, if you try 5 times and don't get the house that you want, maybe number 6 will be it. It will be a roller coaster, but we will find you what you